On this day in Louisville, Kentucky, these 8 men went to camp to speak the words of the Most High Power. And as they had done countless times before, but on this day, they were attacked by a vile mob of heathens and sinful men who sought to take their lives and stop them from raising up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
However, in accordance to their training and the love that they had for one to another, they fought their attackers side by side.
That's right.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
On to death if necessary.
That's right.
And at the end of the conflict, they prevailed and returned to their homes and to their brethren and their wives and their children. All was lost except one thing they brought back. They brought back the Bible.
That's right.
And delivered it back to this nation.
Shalom Israel, you know what it is. This is Kentucky 8 Podcast. Hold on one sec. Shalom Israel, Kentucky 8 Podcast in the building. This is Captain Kapash. You already know Kentucky 8 podcast. We go over all the top stories, news stories, and everything like that. And boy, we have some bangers today. Like it's always going down in this empire. I'll tell you that right now. This kingdom is always up to something. This kingdom is falling. There's always some things going on. So let's get the first story. All right. Let's see. That's the Black Lives Matter. We did that story last week. We didn't do the Taliban. Oh, we did the ICE super spreader. All right. Okay. Oh boy. Let's get it. All right. Derek Chauvin, as you know, who's the cat that murdered George Floyd on camera in front of everybody, in front of the world. Hold on a sec. All right. Derek Chauvin files for new trial in death of George Floyd. Defense attorney Eric Nelson argued that Derek Chauvin's constitutional right to a fair trial was violated. Oh my God. They saying he ain't have a fair trial because they got him on camera murdering somebody. You can't bring somebody on camera to murder somebody. That's not fair. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has filed a motion seeking a new trial in the death of George Floyd, arguing that his constitutional right to a fair trial was violated multiple times throughout the proceedings. Defense attorney Eric Nelson took the issue with the judge's refusal to grant a change of venue and the decision to not sequester jurors during the trial, among other things, in a 10-point post-verdict filing. The cumulative effect of the multiple errors in these proceedings deprived Mr. Chauvin of a fair trial in violation of his constitutional rights, the filing reads. Nelson argued that it is unconstitutional when the court declined to compel testimony from Morris Hall, a suspected drug dealer and friend of Floyd's who was with him at the time of the incident that led to his death. Derek Chauvin's jurors BLM t-shirt sparks concerns about trial verdicts. The court abused its discretion and violated Mr. Chauvin's right under the Confrontation Clause when it failed to order Morris Hall to testify, or in the alternative, to admit into evidence Mr. Hall's statements to law enforcement regarding his interactions with George Floyd and presence at the May 25th incident. So basically, because they tried to get somebody who ain't had shit to do with the case to come up there, the judge obviously said, no, he ain't got nothing to do with the case. So now they saying his constitutional rights was violated, which is a bunch of BS. You understand? Hall invoked the Fifth Amendment to avoid testifying, but he had made statements to police that were not revealed to jurors, despite Nelson's attempts to have them read in court. So how is that against the Constitution? Your Fifth Amendment, you don't have to speak. You don't have to testify. You say, look, I invoked the Fifth Amendment. I ain't saying shit. I don't got to come in there and testify against nothing. Nelson also accused prosecutors of pervasive, prejudicial, prosecutorial misconduct and alleged that jurors convicted Chauvin on charges that the evidence did not sufficiently support. And this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. It's a whole bunch of bureaucratic bull BS that wouldn't work if it was black. If it was a black guy going to court for this, this stuff wouldn't even be considered. The court abused its discretion when it submitted instructions to the jury that failed to accurately reflect the law with respect to second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and authorized use of force. And he argued that the court allowed prosecutors to lead witnesses during questioning. In addition to requesting a new trial, Nelson also asked for the guilty verdicts against Chauvin to be tossed. Two notable potential areas of conflict were left out of the filing: controversial remarks from Representative Maxine Waters and juror who was photographed at a Black Lives Matter protest but failed to acknowledge it on the pretrial questionnaire given to potential jury members. Waters had said she would urge protesters to get more confrontational if Chauvin had been acquitted at trial. The juror was photographed last summer, Brandon Mitchell, in a Black Lives Matter t-shirt that said, "Get your knee off our neck," a reference to Floyd's death. The questionnaire asked directly whether potential jurors had attended protests over the death of Floyd or over police brutality. Michelle answered no to both questions. Wow. This is what some of the they got a lot of comments from people. So Knuck Life said, "Guilty or not, I thought it unconscionable that they even held the trial there, especially right after the city's big payout. This no doubt increased the chances of some appeal-worthy event." Look at that. That's what some people are saying. I'm not saying he was innocent or guilty, but I don't think there's much doubt that he was unable to get a fair trial. This is so politically charged and has been covered in the media, and there's so much misinformation out there that I'm not sure how you could get a fair jury trial at this point. It almost needs to be a judge's decision at the end. The oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. And to try to sit and pick through everything and say, is this a fair trial because of this, because of that? Something so publicized, you could always find something that could try to claim it to be an unfair trial. But this shit never works when it's black people, though. You had 5 innocent black boys falsely accused in New York of raping some white woman. You had Donald Trump, who was famous at the time, basically saying they were guilty and string them up before they trial. They didn't overturn that trial because of a famous person's swaying the public opinion. They don't give a damn when it's black people if the trial is fair. They don't give a damn. But for their own, they'll bend the rules. They'll bend the rules and create rules and get under every rock to try to find a way to make themselves innocent. The scripture says they hold themselves not guilty. Minneapolis was about to be torn apart. It's like not Minneapolis. I think it was Milwaukee. I'll double check. I think it's Minneapolis. It was about to be torn apart before that trial. You had protesters out pelting cops, ready to burn down the city. You know what I mean? They surrounded the police department there, and they're ready to burn down the city. They're ready to do all types of things if they would have found out or found him not guilty. That city was going to burn. So in order to save the city, they pronounced him guilty. But they had the ace up their sleeve. The ace up their sleeve was there's so much commotion around this trial that they can say, well, look, this person over here said something. This person over there said something. This person got a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. This juror got braids. So he's biased from the jump. The trial is unfair, and they ready to overturn and do the whole thing over in the dark and have this devil get off easy. But you got so many people that cried and thought that this was going to do it. This was going to change the system. They was going to change the system. They was going to make it. They was going to give justice. America was finally going to give justice over a murder that you caught on camera. You understand? That was clearly a violation of every damn rule of law enforcement. Somebody who's already in handcuffs, you sitting there, got your knee on their neck in all type of subduing force when he's already subdued in handcuffs, unable to defend himself, and then he dies from it. It's the most clear-cut case of murder. But the scripture says they hold themselves not guilty. So they're not going to sit back and say, oh, we're guilty, he's guilty. They're going to do this retrial. They're going to come up back against it. And they're going to try to redo the trial. They're going to try to get this devil off. You understand? This is what they think of black life in America. That's what they think of black life. So I'm gonna go on to the next story, because we could basically, the ISUBK told you this, that the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. We told you this years ago. We told you this in 1969. So this shouldn't be a surprise or a shock. It should be basically, you should already know what was going to happen. You understand? We got another mighty man in the building. Officer Yahweh Thumb. Shalom, mighty man.
Shalom, Lord Christ, sir.
Yeah, we're just going over this trial. Basically, they're going to redo, or they're filing an appeal to redo Derek Chauvin, the trial of the devil who killed George Floyd with the knee on the neck.
You said they're going to do a redo for the trial?
They put an appeal to redo the trial based on multiple things. One of them was one of the jurors. They got a picture of one of the jurors at a Black Lives Matter protest, and that was one of the questionnaires of the jurors. Have you ever been in a protest? And he said no, and they said they got a picture of him at a protest. Another reason they're trying to redo the trial is because of Maxine Waters, the representative in California, said if he's not guilty, then they need to destroy the city and this and that. And they're saying there's all type of bias against them and all this BS. So they're basically putting in their appeal to redo the trial.
Oh, that you know what? That's funny because last time I checked, he still had his knee on that brother's neck for 9 minutes plus or whatever. You understand? Right. He still put pressure on that brother's neck. Everything is still the same. I don't understand what they need to appeal with. If y'all want to go through that again and put the people through that, hey, no sweat. Go ahead. It's not to me. You can run this as many times as you want. There's no way to find him not guilty. There's no way to find him not guilty.
Yeah.
So I don't even understand that logic.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. Let's get the next story. This next story is a local story, Chicago story. Someone bought O-Block, but it's not Lil Durk. Let's see what's going on. Chicago's O-Block was reportedly sold before Lil Durk could enter a bid. The affordable Parkway Gardens housing project in Chicago, notoriously known as O-Block in the hip-hop community, has reportedly found a buyer, and it's not Lil Durk. Last week, the rapper offered to pay whatever price to scoop up the housing project that his close affiliate King Von grew up at. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Smirk had a chance to even enter a bid. It's funny because they spelled his name wrong purposely. It says in the article Smirk when his name is Lil Durk, so they called him Smirk.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They trying to make a mockery of him, and whoever bought that, they bought that knowing that he was trying to buy this project.
Had a chance to even enter a bid because, according to some reports, the project was immediately sold after the initial news broke. Hold up, I think we got another person in the building. Oh, mighty man, Officer Napadazal, Shalom, Lord Christ.
Hey, Shalom, Yabashim Shokata.
Lord Christ, let me catch you up to speed. The first story was they trying to redo the George Floyd trial. So they the lawyers put in an appeal for that. Now the second story, O-Block. Have you ever heard of it?
I never heard of O-Block.
It's a Chicago housing project that the rapper that died, King Von, grew up at. Lil Durk was trying to buy it, but it was immediately sold. So we're reading the rest of the article. It was not publicly revealed who purchased Parkway Gardens. It will be interesting to see what becomes of the area. Historically, there has been a high rate of gun violence in O-Block. However, the buyer clearly hopes for expanding in the area with the news that rent prices are likely to shoot up. It's possible that they will be building new condominiums to justify the increase. O-Block Parkway Gardens will be disbanded and relocated. O-Block has been sold, and best believe it's going to be developed beautifully and completely out of the price range of most current Woodlawn residents. That jewel and Metro Squash facility should have been the writing on the wall. This is about to get interesting and eerily familiar. Can someone say Cabrini or Stateway? They're about to open up Section 8 in Bloomington, Champaign, etc. That's been the move literally since they started tearing down the Jecks. Basically the projects.
Sound like gentrification on his way.
Yeah. So basically, like the brother said, gentrification. And the rapper, he tried to buy the project so he could keep black people there, which, definitely is a move. That's definitely a move that, more of our people could have been doing. But at the end of the day, man, the way I see it, buying property and all this and that, at the end of the day, we're not free. So you can buy all the property you want. Somebody could come along, some devil, a generation from now and steal it from your whole family, which is happening right now in the South. You have land, thousands of acres of land that brothers had purchased in the past and passed down to their family. One case is if there's not a clear state person every generation who's going to own all the property. Let's say you have 200 acres or 1,000 acres. If there's not one person who's it passed down to, let's say it passed down to everybody in the family, so everybody gets a portion. What happens is the devils, they can go and find one person who's a descendant who owns a portion. So let's say everybody owns 5 acres of 1,000 acres. They'll go to one other person who maybe live in another city somewhere and say, look, you own some property in the South that was in your family. We'll pay you $1,000 for it. You ain't using it. You know what I mean? Here's $2,000 for the little bit of acres. The person may sell it. Hey, that's $2,000 for something you're not using. Then the devils can apply for, since they have partial ownership, they can apply with the government to get full ownership at like them things of auctions. They'll schedule an auction. They won't even notify hardly any damn body, and they will buy the whole piece of property from just owning a portion, even if the other people of the family still want their portions. And they're doing it right now as we speak, all over the South, all over lands that are owned by different families. The devil got ways, man. The devil got ways to steal. It's his kingdom. How can you fight his kingdom and try to get his kingdom when it's his kingdom? He's making the rules. You understand? So many black people have so much property in all over the world, all over the cities. What happened? They put highways through them. The majority of the highways you see going through most of these cities, 60 years ago, it was a black neighborhood right there. Hundreds of black houses. They just made everybody sell their houses and put a strip of highway right there, right through the neighborhood, dividing the whole neighborhood up, messing up the economy, messing up the travel, messing up the commutes of walking and small businesses. They got ways to tear down what they want. You understand? So it's no trusting that, oh, I bought property, I bought land, and this was going to happen. Like this rapper, he rapped about O Block, and he was ready to die over this damn block because he grew up in these projects. But look what's happening now. Now some devil somewhere is about to buy it and turn it into little condos, just what they did in Harlem. Now it's called Soho. You got devils, white people, got their little dogs in there, with their little gardens, messing up the whole neighborhood. Moving people that have been living there for generations out. See, at the end of the day, that's why we got to appeal to the Most High to get rid of these devils, to get free. The scriptures say the truth shall make you free, not the truth shall make you have a property ownership that can be taken from you at any moment. So that's what went down with this guy. This guy, he's rich, tons of wealth. He couldn't even buy the land. The devils blocked him out. As soon as it went up, it was given to another devil, even though he had the money to buy it. And and it had sentimental value to him. This is oppression. This is what you're dealing with. You playing a game with some guy who's not trying to play fair. Why would he? Why should he? You know what I mean? He's gonna buy it up and tear it down, and that's that. And any other place that black people are holding dear in America, the Lord will have that get destroyed too. There's nothing to hold dear except Jerusalem. Scripture says, if I forget Jerusalem, let my right hand, King David said, let my right hand forget its cunning. So forget all the blocks. They all don't belong to us. What belong to us is Jerusalem, and that's what we should focus on. You know what I mean? Getting back in our land, letting the Most High destroy our enemies so we can be back in our land, in our King, Yahweh Shai returns. You brothers have anything you want to drop on this before I go to the next story?
La Cap, I'm through up.
Okay.
I did want to add one thing, just kind of piggyback off of what you were saying earlier, how our people, it's lucky, but our people take so much pride in whatever hood they from, whatever zone they from, whatever borough, you know what I'm saying, wherever they from, they take so much pride in it. And situations like this goes to show you that that pride is pointless because you have no might in your hands to do anything about it, even when you do get the money to do something about it. So that pride that we take in these hoods, like you said, it shouldn't be so much pride in these hoods. It should be pride in ourselves, pride in who we supposed to be, pride in coming back to the Most High. That's when we get to actually have pride in the land in Jerusalem and actually conquering this whole world and putting everything back in order. So I think that was a heavy story. Like a lot of people might miss that point, but you can take pride in your hood all you want. You can go ahead and make some of yourself. You can make good money. You can make big money. You can be able to buy your whole city, and it ain't gonna matter because this is not our place of rest. I just wanted to bring that point out. That was a heavy point you brought out, sir.
Damn right, that's a heavy point you brought out. Like you said, the scripture said, "This is not our rest." All right, so we're gonna pull up this next story about India.
India, where conditions keep getting worse. Nearly half of all of the new cases reported worldwide last week were in India, as well as a quarter of the world's deaths. CBS's Chris Livesay reports tonight from New Delhi.
The funeral pyres now burn 24/7, not in a proper crematorium. There's no more room, but in the parking lot. With COVID claiming victims at record speed, the pandemic's global epicenter is ablaze in such misery. Dipender Singh lays his mother to rest.
Can you think of one word that encapsulates how you feel right now?
Blank. I'm blank right now. I don't have anything left right now in me.
Perhaps nowhere else is India's COVID catastrophe more visible and more palpable than here, with 120 people dying every hour across the country.
This in a country already gasping for breath, with oxygen in short supply. Despite the U.S. and other countries sending aid, Indians remain desperate for signs of improvement. This man says he's been waiting in line for oxygen for 9 hours. Overnight, India's death toll rose by a record 3,780 as the country posted its 14th straight day of more than 300,000 new cases. Yet experts worry the real numbers could be as much as 5, even 10 times higher.
And today, India's Supreme Court ordered the government to come up with a plan in the next 24 hours to meet New Delhi's oxygen needs, as the contagion and the carnage show no sign of slowing. Nora?
Chris Livesay, thank you.
You on mute, Cap.
I said, wow, that is amazing. You know what I mean? And that reporter, he's a brave one, because I wouldn't be standing nowhere near them damn burning ass bodies with all that disease all over the place. The angel of the Lord has moved over from America, that death angel of the plague, and now he's setting his sights over India right now. Do you understand? That's how it works. That there's an angel that brings the plague, and where the Lord sends that angel, that's where the plague goes. It increases, and that angel is putting in work right now in India, the land of Elam, the Elamites. I'm gonna get some scriptures. What your brothers got to say about this? This is just amazing what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's super heavy because the scriptures say, hey, listen, pestilence is coming to this earth. Pestilence is coming, and that's just one part of the curses that's coming to this earth. The Most High is going to destroy these nations if they had any hand at all in destroying the Lord's chosen people. And they gonna go into captivity either way. You understand? But definitely for those nations that had a hand in our destruction, like, you know, you look at the Indians, East Indians, and what they facing. Imagine what Esau is going to face when, you know what I'm saying, that angel of death get over here real good in America. and the plague start hitting America for trying to destroy the Lord's chosen people, it's going to be a glorious thing. And a lot of people in the world, they look at that like that's just so sad. It's just, their destruction, they're dying. And listen, this part of the Lord's judgment, and you're going to see more of that. So prepare yourself.
Damn right. Y'all with Thumb, what you got to say about that?
Just to piggyback off of what Officer Deposit was saying, pestilence is a must. Like we can't get the kingdom of heaven until pestilence takes over on this earth. So it brings joy to my heart to see that. I can't wait until he brings on the next one, because that's the sign of our kingdom coming back at hand. That's what I want to see. I don't care what we got to go through to get it. The Bible never talked about Christ coming back, kissing babies, playing hop, skip, and jump with everybody. No, it talks about death, brutal death, pestilence. And that's what we need in order to bring the kingdom back. So us seeing that is validation of our kingdom. And it brings nothing but joy to my heart. Outside in Christ.
God. And like, could you just imagine, like, at least nowadays we kind of know what's going on, but like imagine back in the days, like in the biblical times, and you just go outside one day and everybody's just dropping dead and choking. People just on the ground just choking, and you don't know why. Then you would know truly the Lord is against us right now, or some spirit, some great spirit is against us right now. You would truly understand. But now people think they got technology. They think, oh, we know what it is. You don't know shit. This is the Lord. You understand? Look at them people. Ain't no signs or nothing. They just outside, just choking, just outside, just on the ground dying. And no beforehand, no build up. Just one day walking. Like I seen the footage. They would just stand outside, just falling over, dying dead in the streets, just like that, choking out. You would truly understand it was the Lord if you didn't think that you knew all what was going on, and you knew the technology, and you knew the exact name of it, and you knew it's the bacteria. If you weren't thinking you so smart, you would know this is the Lord. The people in India would know this is the higher power punishing us for our evil, whatever evil they've been doing. And it's funny because it's not funny, but it's crazy because India is the number one producer of the fucking vaccine. The oppressor got them over there making all them damn vaccines, and ain't there none of them over there got it. This lets you know. This lets you know you don't need to trust in man. You understand? You shouldn't trust in man. And you shouldn't join in the oppressor in destroying blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You shouldn't have joined that. You shouldn't have joined the white man when he destroyed us. But since you wanted to come over here and make Dunkin' Donuts and get money and make all type of gas stations and make money off of destroyed blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Lord is against you. And like I said, there's multiple scriptures about the angels of the Lord, how they stand over the people and they bring their plague. They bring the plague onto the people. I was trying to find one real quick, but couldn't find it in time. But best believe this is the angel of the Lord, the same similar angel that went through Egypt and killed all those Egyptians during the night of the Passover. That's what it was like. The Egyptians just start dropping dead, all the firstborn. Now we have no way of knowing if all those people in India are some like all the firstborns or all the seventh borns, or all the whatever. We have no way of knowing which ones is which dying over there. But it probably is some category of ones the Lord is killing, just like he did in Egypt. And this is right on the cusp of the Lord's Passover that we just had 2 weeks ago. and we're basically seeing the Passover happen right before our eyes in real time. Just it's happening in India, as opposed to right on top of us, like it was back in when we had to put the blood of the lamb on the door, and that death angel came and took down all the firstborn of Egypt. And you know, so like I said, they in there burning bodies. It's a madhouse over there. Let's get to the next story. Wow. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Let me get this story first. Also in the pod if you could pull up the stories, I won't be able to stay to the whole 10. I probably got about 5 more minutes. But if you could finish off and pull up the next stories, we got some other real good ones. Let's pull this one up. Death of 16-year-old Michaela Miller under investigation, found hanging from a tree. This is May 6th, 2021. This happened. This is yesterday's news. An investigation into the death of 16-year-old Michaela Miller in Hopkinton, Massachusetts, is reportedly underway, according to Middlesex District Attorney's Office. In Massachusetts, they are very racist up there. I'm trying to think they it's the North or some shit like that. They very racist up there in Massachusetts and Boston. That's where they killed George Stinney Jr. That 12-year-old black boy, they fucking electrocuted him to death on an electric chair for a crime he obviously didn't do. And now we see this again. Another child killed, black child, Israelite baby killed, a 16-year-old girl hanging from a tree. What they're gonna rule this a suicide? When the hell did black? I swear, Lord be with me, because if I'm around some oppressor and this type of conversation is up, and they say it might have been a suicide, I might go off and just strike their ass. Lord be with me, because for them to even say that a black person, if they got hung out in the woods, they might have committed suicide. That's probably what really happened. That might push me over the edge if some devil said that to me in front of my face. But they always say it in the news articles. Let's see what it says. As reported,
if I could,
go ahead.
It's they got these super conservative shows that are ran by devils, and I can't even remember. I think I turned it off after I watched it, but it was some devil in there like, yeah, there's a whole conspiracy theory. The news is perpetuating this. Black people are hanging themselves, causing this big uproar.
Wow.
They cannot be serious. They cannot be serious about what he just said. And like, he has a whole following. This cat got a whole show with viewers and followers and subscribers. And I'm like, he just said that black people are hanging themselves to like further the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm like, you are a fucking idiot. Nobody is hanging themselves. Who does that?
Yo,
if I could,
go ahead, Roy.
I would obviously have to look this up, but even if a black person has been found hanging themselves, that you never find them just like lynched on a tree. That you just never find that. That's where a black person would never think about hanging themselves on a tree. Even the coolest of all of us have a brief understanding of what that is significant of. Us in the truth, obviously, we know what that truly is significant of. None of us would think about killing ourselves in a way to hang ourselves on a tree. It's only one people that do that. That's the devil the Bible speaks of.
And Salaki too. I know you ain't even got into the story yet, but I'm just tripping off. Like, that's the mentality of these devils. And it's like, black people, okay, unless there's a mental disorder, black people will live in the most, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans will live in the most utterly detestable conditions just to live. You grow up plucking roaches out your cereal box, and living in conditions where you got to boil water to take baths and got to eat, drink sugar water. Black people don't like, that's not what we do. We just ain't people that just kill ourselves like that. So the even utter you to say we killed ourselves to further some movement, we don't martyr like that. We get it from out the mud and scrape up the bottom until we can get better. Black people ain't really looking to kill themselves, damn sure, for not no movement. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, the mentality of these devils.
Yeah. Yep. I could read it or I could play a video. Let me play the video. Let's see. Let's play the video.
Well, a call for answers after the sudden death of a 16-year-old girl in Hopkinton. The district attorney is investigating, but initially ruled that it was not suspicious. But as Ken McLeod explains, her family thinks.
There you go. Already started with some bullshit. I'm gonna rewind it. Did y'all catch that? It said I'm gonna rewind it. They're already starting with some bullshit.
A call for answers after the sudden death of a 16-year-old girl in Hopkinton. The district attorney is investigating, but initially ruled that it was not suspicious. But
there we go. The district attorney initially ruled that it was not suspicious.
Galaki, if I could.
Here we go. I already knew it. It was coming with the bullshit. That's why the scriptures say, "Cursed is he that hangeth on a tree." You understand? Like, we got to get back with the Most High, because these devils, they are our curse. Our curse is that these devils are here and they have power. That's the curse. That they're not got a yoke of iron around their neck like the scriptures say they will. They done broke the yoke off their neck and now they're running amok. This is the curse. They're the curse of us. Go ahead, Warrior. You want to say something else, Tom?
Kind of a concern. How do you find any black person, like just an average common sense detective should never find a black person hanging on a tree and say, "Oh, that's not suspicious." That should be the first thing on your mind is, yeah, that's definitely suspicious. I don't even know what happened, but that's suspicious. A black person hanging off a tree, I know that just don't happen here in America. That just shows you how naive these devils truly are, man. They know what's going on, man. Ain't no 16. It was a 16-year-old young girl.
Yep.
Ain't no 16-year-old young girl about to take time out her day just to go ahead and hang herself from a tree. I don't care what's going on. That she can hate life. She had cut herself. She might do some other things. She ain't doing that. That's what I know.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I wonder if they're gonna say what's up with the rape kit. Need to check that too, because a lot of times stuff be happening and they don't give all the facts. The police will find the body. It'll be tons of evidence, and they'll just say, "Well, we're still under investigation." It'll be under investigation for 20 years. All type of evidence all over the scene. These motherfuckers got to pay, man. The Most High destroy these people in this kingdom, and made the children of Israel wake the hell up and rise the hell up with under the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and get down with the true leadership under Commander Yohana. Let's get to the rest of it. Then I'm gonna get up out of here in the Padazad, and you can take over, Baba Kashah.
As Ken McLeod explains, her family thinks there's much more to the story.
On Thursday, here in Hopkinton near the marathon starting line, a grieving family will gather to mourn the death of a 16-year-old. But at the same time, they'll accuse authorities of a cover-up. Simple Flowers marked the spot where Michaela Miller was found 2 Sunday mornings ago, hanging from a tree along this trail off West Main Street, which runs back to the apartments where she lived.
This is just an unimaginable loss.
But in the days that followed, Michaela's mom fueled a social media firestorm with this post, accusing police of turning a blind eye to the kids who she says bullied, ambushed, and murdered her daughter. It was a post that drew angry online support from people claiming the teen was lynched because she was black or gay or both.
The idea that we would be not investigating bullying or a murder as the allegation is just not true.
Michaela was a student athlete at Hopkinton High, which is almost entirely white. And while the DA's office indicated early on that her death was not suspicious, perhaps meaning it was a suicide, they acknowledge a relationship breakup the day before triggered a fight.
We know it was an altercation among people who were known to each other.
What investigators do not have yet is a full report from the medical examiner, but they're still interviewing folks and say they've updated Michaela's family every few days.
And to lose a child and then to think that everything is.
If I could, that's why you need to stay out them all oppressor schools. Them schools where it's all devils. It's a problem. Let's read.
Not being done to find out what happened is a terrible thing.
The DA says she regrets that forensics are taking so long, but says more time is a must to know for certain what led up to such a tragic Sunday morning along this trail.
We want to get to the right answer for Michaela.
The DA says her investigation will be transparent and complete. On the phone, Michaela's mother and aunt declined an interview, telling me we'd learn everything we need to know about the case at Thursday's vigil.
You on mute, Cap.
That right there let you know. Look, you see how old that damn district lady was? She probably was around when they killed George Stinney. Old as she was. She probably was around. She was probably around when they was lynching and beating and little when the integration first started. She was probably screaming, telling them, get these niggers out of our school. Who the hell we about to listen to her old ass? You understand? Old women like her is the same ones that back in the day had black kids killed and stuff. What's that young kid? The other young kid that was killed.
Emmett Till.
Emmett Till. That woman that accused him, she's still running around here with her old lying devilish ass. So these damn old racists is still alive. So I wouldn't trust I don't trust no devil, but I damn sure don't trust no devil over 60. Come on now. Civil rights movement was 60 years ago. They was walking around when that was going on. So it was legal then to be racist. Go ahead.
Yeah, we said it last week. Them baby boomers, that whole, baby boomers and past that, they remember the times of old. They remember when, or they used to be, their parents would tell them about how niggers had to laugh in barrels and how they, had to be.
I got to roll lock and shalom. Slack it, Lord Christ.
Hey,
go ahead, rock it out.
Yeah, these devils, man, they remember how it used to be. They heard those stories from their parents and from their grandparents. Baby boomers, that whole age group, man, they know and understand what power and authority they used to have over black people, and they don't like it. And to add to the story, right, it's crazy how they always say it's going to be a bunch of, it's going to be transparent. As soon as they say it's going to be a transparent case, you can know at that moment right there, what the hell, Cap got something going on. So like, am I on? Y'all with them? Can you hear me?
Kind of, I can hear you.
Okay, God. So like, I don't know what happened just there, but I was saying, as soon as they say it's gonna be transparent, it's like you already know they taking too long. Like the whole, like, there's an ongoing investigation. Those is keywords: ongoing, transparency. That means nothing. All that means is they're using that time to hide the evidence or not fully. They got their feet kicked up on the desk, not researching anything. You understand?
Yeah, and if I could, real quick, a 16-year-old black female is hung from a tree in a neighborhood in a school district that's primarily white. And the first thing that goes through their head is suicide.
Right.
Like I'm starting to think that we're dealing with some cops and detectives that have true mental issues. Like they have to have true mental issues. If you see that scenario and say, "Yep, I don't think anything went wrong,"
right?
Like, how is that triggering your mind? What, like, knowing the history of America, what more could that situation have shown you to make you think maybe one of your counterparts actually did what y'all usually do?
Right.
What more could you have seen? Like, right. I'm mind blown that this is what that was the scenario, and the first thing that they thought of, it wasn't no foul play.
You're right.
White people
Like,
are crazy. I'm sorry, it's a lot.
They always give their people the benefit of the doubt, always, and they do the exact opposite for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You're guilty until proven innocent. These oppressors, it never even crossed their mind that, like you said, she being, you know, a minority in that school, right, which is hell, like Captain Kapash said, you in a, you know, predominantly white school, you know, plead to your parents, you understand, to get you out. And parents, this is what you got to do, man. You got to Proverbs 22:6. You got to train up a child in the way that they should go, right? She should know not to trust any of those devils. You understand? Nobody. Don't go into the woods. Don't even go out and play with them. You play sports, play your sports, go home. Don't go to no, you know, to no dinner afterwards, you know, nothing like that, man. Take your butt home, because these devils, this is what they do, man. They get too familiar with us, or with, you know, the person that they plotting on, and then sure enough, they lure them up to some spot. That sister, how she gonna hang herself from a tree? Who even, you know, niggas don't even practice nooses. Nobody, no, I don't know any black person since I've been born. I know not one black person that practiced putting the noose together. I don't know how to do the shit now. So, you know, it's crazy.
And if I could, real quick, what you were saying about train up your child, you know what I'm saying, Proverbs 22:6. It reminds me of that movie with Martin Lawrence where basically he was doing the training to become the cop, and he shot essentially all the white assailants, even the little girl. and they asked him, he was like, well, the little girl walking around in the hood at this time of night, she got to be on something. You know what I'm saying? That was the mindset that you really should be training up your child with. Like, man, be careful with them, man. And all the black people, he understood what they was doing. He was like, yeah, them over there, I get them. But that white girl, that little white, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of them didn't make sense. And that's the mindset you truly have to train up your family with. You got to teach them, man. And at the end of the day, the true enemy here is the same people that'll hang you off that tree. It's the same people, you know what I'm saying, that does blackface and rape, robs, and kills us, and does all these other things, oppresses our people. Oh, that's your true enemy. And that'll never change as long as we over here. So I just wanted to bring that up. No,
that's damn sure true. And that movie, that was actually Will Smith, Men in Black. It's like he saw all the aliens and the people standing around, and that one little white devil, like the one that you think so sweet and so innocent, like that's the one you better look out for. You understand? Right. You Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you run across this podcast, man. Listen, the oppressor is not pious. They're not, you know, righteous. They're not humble. They're not kind. They say, the scriptures say this in Psalms 55:21. You understand? They speak a good game, right? But in their heart is war. They gotta they words are smoother than butter. You understand? Smoother, softer than oil. But war's in their heart. You know what I'm saying? They want to kill you. They talk that game. They talk like they nice and kind, but they really want to destroy you. And that's what we're realizing now. Unfortunately, you know, if you're in the world, you're realizing that you cannot trust these devils. I want to get one scripture real quick before we get the next story. This is Zechariah 11:5. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. And that last part of that scripture is so heavy. Like, we know our possessors slay us, right? And we know that they say they're not guilty. We see it every day, right? That's why black people were so ecstatic that Derek Chauvin was, convicted, because we seen so many cops get off because our possessors slay us and they hold themselves not guilty. But the part of the scripture that's really, you know, all of it is heavy, but that part that says, and their own shepherds pity them not. That's the problem, man. You should have your so-called black leaders are worthless. You understand? They don't warn you of this impending doom. They don't sound the trumpet, but the ISUPK does. That's why we on this podcast. That's why brothers teaching classes. That's why we going out on the street corner tomorrow to warn you of the doom that's coming if you don't separate from this nation of heathens that will destroy you.
Damn right. And if I could, real quick, I'm very interested in seeing how they try to portray the mother, because the mother was the only one that kind of raised any kind of hell about this, saying, "What do you mean? You know, saying you crazy to think that my daughter would just go hang herself." Like you said, ain't black people ain't practicing how to make a damn noose. It's the last thing we're doing. So with this story, I'm definitely interested on seeing as this goes along, how they portray the mother in this whole scenario.
Right. Now that's definitely a tactic that they have, that propaganda that they push on the family. Well, she was a bad student. She got bad grades and she smoked weed when she was 14 and her mama had her when she was 12 and all this other shit that's irrelevant to justice. You understand? All right, let's close it out with this last one real quick. Did y'all do the other cops for the Derek Chauvin trial? Did y'all do that one before I got on?
The only thing we did on him was that they're trying to redo the case or something like that.
Okay, let's read this one. This is it says federal civil rights charges filed against ex-cops in George Floyd's death. Right. And it says a federal grand jury in Minnesota has indicted Derek Chauvin, the fired Minneapolis officer convicted in the death of George Floyd, and three other ex-officers on civil rights charges. All right, it goes on to say the federal indictment accuses Chauvin, J. Alexander Queen, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Thomas Lang, and Toe Tao. His nickname Toe Tao.
So are those pretty much the other cops that was kind of there watching it while it went on, pretty much?
Right. It's about to say the three fired officers who are awaiting trial or on state charges of aiding and abetting in Floyd's death, of depriving Floyd of his civil rights under color of law, meaning while acting in their capacity as police officers. The Department of Justice announced that the indictments in a press release, but did not provide further comment Friday. The indictment accuses Chauvin of willingly depriving Floyd of constitutional right to be protected from illegal search and seizure, which includes the right to be free from unreasonable force by a police officer. It says Chauvin did so by pinning Floyd, like we already know what happened to Floyd. It said it accuses Tao and Queen, or whatever, of depriving Floyd of the same rights by failing to intervene, and it accuses all four officers of depriving Floyd of liberty by not providing him medical attention. I think we all seen the footage. We all know what happened in the trial. And listen, not that black people should get their hopes up, because this is not justice, right? What happened to Derek Chauvin, that's not justice. But it does help ease the pain to know that he's being punished in some way. You understand? It does help ease the pain a little bit. And black people, I would say to you, don't be surprised if these cops wiggle their way out of it. I don't think they are, because, of course, Chauvin was convicted, right? He was convicted. And so that's a good indication that the other cops will be convicted, especially in the civil. Like, it's easier to prove civil suits as opposed to criminal suits. So, it's a good indication for them that they might receive some punishment too, which they absolutely should, because they stood by and did nothing, right? Like General Hyman was bringing out, where are the good cops? There's a person committing a crime. He has his knee on his neck. He's trying to murder somebody. That's a crime. They were legally within their rights to pull out their firearm and, kill him for killing that brother, or shoot him, or do something to stop him, but they didn't. You was going to say something on that?
No, yeah. And, even though, like I said, well, like the story says, they're bringing them up on these civil charges, and that's cool and everything, but you just got to be careful with the way that the process works, because, like you said, they will find a way to wiggle out of this. And honestly, if you ask me, I think they all should go down for this. Right. I mean, as a cop, you're a professional, right? Meaning, you professionally know what to do and what not to do to kill somebody. You know what's going on. Right. I mean, if us people with just common sense can see, hey, man, you're killing this man. I mean, if you look back at the tape, there's plenty of people saying, man, you're hurting him, you're killing him, you can't breathe. People have no training can see this. Right. So if the people with no training can see this, I know you cops can. Right. The only thing is, I know you want to kill him.
Yeah.
Cops love that. Listen, a part of being a cop is getting an opportunity to kill a black man.
Mm-hmm.
It is a glorious thing if you wear that blue. They'll never tell you. They'll never act as if there's any truth to it. But I guarantee you, it's what runs deep in their veins. The opportunity to take out a black man. So you got to be careful with this, because this is a part of who they are. And they more than likely will find a way out of this civil suit. That's just my thinking on it. But hey, maybe America could show me something different.
Hey, listen, I pray that they get locked under the jail, because they stood there, kept telling everybody to back up, and then when the brother was, lifeless, they didn't administer. And that's what cops do. Cops do that, man. Like, they'll put you down, shoot you, pump you full of holes, and then they just stand there and look at you like, well, I guess we better administer CPR. Well, yeah, don't you think? I mean, you shot me full of goddamn holes. You probably should try to do something. But these bastards, man, I like you said, man, I pray for the destruction of this, the police force, the judge system, everything, man. This whole empire just need to tumble down, because there's no justice for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in this thinking rat hole called America. You understand?
Con, couldn't agree more.
You got any closing statements before we get up out of here?
Just another great show. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native American, tune in to the Kentucky 8 podcast. But this is where we actually dive in stories and try to bring out the real of the situation.
Yeah, damn right, man. We definitely gonna tell it to you how it is, man. Your Christian pastor ain't gonna bring out none of the stuff that we brought out. All he gonna do is sugarcoat it and tell you to love God more and pray more and love your enemy more. Where we are gonna tell you, damn this oppressor. You understand? Pray for his downfall and his destruction. Catch us next time, man, on Kentucky 8 podcast every Tuesday and every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.